In this video, we're going to be taking a look at activity 1.3.3, constraining a sketch. And in order to get started, we're going to break up this video by the steps, the numbered steps that we have in the activity. So in order to do that, we're going to go ahead and create a new Onshape folder. We're going to go ahead and name this by the activity name. And then we're going to go ahead and create a new document to which we will call steps 3 through 8. And they call this the concave polygon. We'll go ahead and we'll select the folder, select open, and then inside of this folder we're going to create this Onshape document. To start this out, we're going to create a sketch on the front plane, and we're going to go ahead and hide the others by right clicking on the top plane over in the browser and selecting hide all planes. I'll press the N key on the keyboard to turn this sketch plane normal for us to be able to sketch. And what we're looking for here is they would like for us to sketch a concave polygon using only the line tool. So I'm going to grab the line tool and kind of here I'm going to touch the origin. You're going to see you get a tracking line, a dashed line that will show up that helps you line up with the origin. I'm going to go ahead and start off to the left side here and click. Go ahead and draw a little line here. And we're just going to go ahead and add in and kind of create the shape that we see there. Till we get a connection. Notice a few things with your sketch. Number one, I'm going to go ahead and right click and say escape line. And when it comes to some of the things with the sketch environment, number one, you can see that we've got a black line here. If we hover over any line, you can see there's these little icons that show up. So, and not all lines do, but you can tell like these, especially these two, have these icons there, which relate to this set of icons up here called the geometric constraints. Also over here in your sketch settings, you can select show constraints. So you can see that there's all the little glyphs that are helping us with that. So you'll see the flat line there icon corresponds. This is the horizontal constraint. These icons are coincident. So meaning that the endpoints of these two lines are connected together. And what they're wanting us to do is kind of to notice that how we can see what constraints are applied as we've sketched, and if I click and drag on these lines, how they kind of behave. And like this one here, I have to maintain that that's going to be horizontal, and same thing with this one. So if I grab the endpoints of a sketch, you can see how it kind of behaves and moves. Same thing with any of these other points. So if I do it on one of the ones that has a horizontal constraint, notice how that line cannot be changed from being horizontal. See how it impacts, but the angled lines certainly can. So a little bit of just kind of, as they say, to kind of manipulate and work with the sketch, you're seeing kind of how it behaves and how it kind of works with each other. And this is a valuable skill within Onshape to be able to understand that whenever you have blue lines that are kind of being represented, and if I want to hide those constraints, I can always uncheck show constraints. The blue lines are indicating unconstrained geometry. The black line, notice how I can't move it. I can shorten the line or lengthen it, but I cannot move it away from the origin. So not only is it horizontal, but it's connected to the origin. So then I can't move it away from there. So it's also connected there as well. So some of the other ones I can move and make some changes to. So just wanted to show you kind of some of the features of that as they kind of show. And the last thing that they want us to show in this case is to, they say just to kind of play around with it and see that. I'm going to select the green check mark, right click, select isometric, and they just want us to extrude this profile just to see what it looks like. Maybe about 2 inches. Doesn't really matter on the depth. And then go ahead and select the green check mark. One reason for the extrusion is if I need to go back to the sketch, I can always go over here to the browser, right click, and select edit. Is that you can always notice that if I click on the front of the view cube, that if I ever miss, like for example, if I was to delete this kind of constraint here by selecting delete the sketch entity, if I pull these 2 points apart, notice how I lost the shading for the sketch. So in order to bring it back, I need to make sure these guys connect to each other, and then now I get the shading back. So that way I've got what they call a closed loop profile. Without that, I'm not going to be able to extrude. So I'm going to select the green check mark, place this in the isometric view, and this is going to take care of steps 3 through 8 for activity 1, 3, 3, constraining a sketch.